British public are fed up. We're fed up with the erosion of our culture, the attack on our identity, and open border mass Islamic immigration. We're not hiding from it. Nigel may wish to hide from it. Nigel may be scared of Islam. The British public on Saturday showed they're not. I admire Modi for putting Indians first. Yeah, putting Indian people first. Pakistan is a terrorist state. Nothing good has ever come from Pakistan.
Tommy Robinson, thank you for joining in on CNN News 18. The last time we spoke was prior to your prison sentence. You are now a national figure, someone who has shaken up the establishment even more so after Unite the Kingdom rally. How much has changed for you and England in the last 1 year?
Lots has changed. My imprisonment and my persecution was an attempt to break our movement. We've come back out. I just spent 7 months on solitary confinement for making a film. I'm a journalist. It's my job to make films. Free speech has been under attack for a long time. I felt like I've been punched every day during those 7 months. And on Saturday, we, the British public, punched back. That is the largest demonstration Britain has ever seen in our country. It should shake the establishment. It should act as an earthquake for the establishment. The British public are fed up. We're fed up with the erosion of our culture, the attack on our identity, and open border mass Islamic immigration. Islam is destroying Great Britain, and the people on Saturday gave their voice to the world to say enough is enough. We will remain silent no longer.
You referred to your Unite the Kingdom rally as a show of patriotic unity, something like nothing seen before, and a cultural revolution. Going by the numbers, is this the beginning of a cultural revolution in Great Britain?
You're witnessing right now a cultural revolution. We have seen a globalist revolution for the last 20 to 30 years across all nations. Open border mass immigration, attack on our religious identity. That's what we've witnessed the globalists doing for 20 to 30 years. You are now seeing the counter revolution. And this was the spark of it. We hope this inspires all Western nations that now is the time to stand up and defend our future, defend our country, defend our culture, and defend our daughters. Because unfortunately, our women are no longer safe in the UK. And it's not at the hands. The important thing that we wanted to do as Unite the Kingdom movement was to show that many communities have come to this country. Many have come from India, Sikhs, Hindus. Many have come from other nations, and they've integrated and assimilated. But that's far different to what we're seeing with Islamic immigration. So whilst we wish to unify Britain and everyone that's proud to be British, we have a problem. It needs to be spoken about. It needs to be stopped. The aggression and the hostility from the Islamic community, it's a massive issue to Great Britain. And we see our core identity and the safety of our nation in danger.
How do you respond to all of those who say that it is the far-right movement which is dividing Britain right now?
Britain is divided. It's already divided. And it's not divided through racial lines. It's not divided between the Sikhs, the Hindus, the Jews. It's not divided by any of them. It's divided by Islam and the rest of the UK. That's it. We have Islamic ghettos that have not integrated, not assimilated. Out of those Islamic ghettos, we have 40,000 Muslims on a terror watch list. 40,000. We only have 70,000 armed forces. During 50 years of Islamic immigration into the UK, in 50 years, we had 3 years where ISIS were dominant in Syria. In that 3 years of ISIS reign in Syria, 4 times as many British Muslims joined ISIS than have ever joined the British military. So in a 3-year period, 4 times more joined ISIS than in a 50-year period of joining the British military. We have a massive problem. And simply 1.2 million British Muslims want Sharia law in our country. That is 1.2 million Muslims that need to leave. But there's no playing games anymore. We've had enough. We've tolerated it for too long. We have tolerated hate against us. 1.2 million Muslims who wish to overthrow democracy and replace it with Islamic supremacy. The problem is, as there's rising tensions against migration, because of the problems we're seeing, which is what we've seek to do as a movement, is let people know that many migrants come to this country, embrace it and love it. There's one section that's come here and caused murders and declared war with it. And I'll be honest, you see, if we didn't have Islamic immigration, there would not even be a debate on immigration in the UK. No one would be complaining. There would have been no mass rape gangs in Rotherham, Telford, and 85 other cities with Islamic communities. We wouldn't even be having a discussion on immigration because no one would have any problems with the other communities that have come here.
Okay, so you say that you've had enough, the people have had enough, but your Prime Minister, Sir Keir Starmer, has said that he will not allow the UK flag to become a symbol of violence. Are you turning the flag into a symbol of violence? What are your thoughts?
No, not at all. This is our 5th rally and they've all been peaceful. We had millions in London on Saturday. There are 8 arrests from our side. 8. Now, there were 18 arrests from the far left government-supported demonstration that had 5,000 people. Now, at that demonstration, they were chanting, "Charlie's in a box, Charlie's in a box." Lead Labour politicians were speaking at that event, yet the media totally ignore this. So twice as many arrests out of 5,000 compared to our over 1 million supporters, millions of supporters. So we're not a violent group. As you can see from the demonstration, we're a group that come and embraced and celebrated our identity with mass diversity from all different communities. The unity is with us, not with them. The nation is divided because of Keir Starmer, not because of us. We seek to unite it, unfortunately, against him and his tyranny, against his politicisation and weaponisation of our judiciary, our media, against all the attacks against our country. Keir Starmer was voted in on 9 million votes. We're a population of over 70 million people. 9 million is all he got. 20 million British people didn't seek to vote. Our cultural movement comes under the banner Unite the Kingdom. Our cultural movement's plans is to captivate that 20 million, to electrify and energise them, to give them a sense of identity and purpose, because for too long they've been told that their voice does not matter. On Saturday, we let them know, and we let the establishment know, their voice does matter. And if we can bring millions to it on the streets of our capital city, you wait to see what we're going to do by the next election. And not just that, we're already planning our next Unite the Kingdom event. It's already in process and to be planned. We want world leaders to attend, representatives who understand the problems we face.
When is that going to be?
We haven't given a date yet because we want to secure the date and the location before we do.
Will it happen this year?
No, it's going to happen next year. To be honest, the planning for this last event, the next one's going to be twice as big, twice as loud, twice as many people. So we need to plan it properly. It costs a fortune, so we need to make lots of plans and organisations. At this event, we had lots of lead politicians and political groups from Europe. So we are. The next one is Unite the Kingdom, Unite the West.
Since you're saying that this will have international dimensions, you also invoked Charlie Kirk. Now, Kirk may not have been a household name in the UK, but many in Britain believe that his murder is validation of the fact that a certain political outlook on life is coming under threat. Were the scenes on Saturday during your rally evidence of that very belief, not just in your cause in the UK, but also a reflection of concerns in the US?
For too long, commentators on our side have had targets put on them by misinformation from mainstream government-supported media. They do the job of the government. So the government don't like voices like ours because we expose, or like Charlie Kirk, because we expose policy failures on their behalf. I tell you the problems from mass immigration that they've allowed to happen. They don't want that. So what they do is they lie about us, they smear us, white supremacist, Nazi, racist, Islamophobe, and they put targets on you in the hope that members and citizens that are radicalised by their lies take action. That's what just happened with Charlie Kirk. So many of us have faced the same in the UK. And for too long, do you know how many death threats I've had? I've had 12 government Osman warnings. An Osman warning is where they say your life is in danger because of threats to life. There have been 6 Muslims sent to jail for terrorist offences for planning to murder me. So all of this has already been happening. People say, do we now fear for our life? I've feared for my life for 15 years. But what I fear for more than just my life, I fear for the entire next generation of British children that are growing up in Islamic-dominated towns. I fear for the weakness and the cowardice in governments who are too scared to deal with them. They do not tackle them. They are fearful of them. Islam rules through dominance and violence and fear, and they have our politicians bending their knee time and time again.
So, since you want to, unite the UK turn into a broader Western movement, I think it's important to also highlight what the critics of Charlie Kirk's assassination have been talking about. They're saying it is this hate-filled rhetoric, it is this divisive rhetoric which has led to the rise in political violence, not just the assassination of Charlie Kirk, but they've also spoken about the multiple assassination attempts against the US President Donald Trump while he was campaigning. Your thoughts?
It's all been encouraged. It's been encouraged and supported by the mass media. They've encouraged it. Political parties have encouraged it. Government-funded NGOs have encouraged it. There are entire organisations whose job it is to lie about me. In the UK, a group called Hope Not Hate, I've done an expose documentary on them. They receive funding from the government, from George Soros. They have continually targeted me, put a target on me, not just me, but my family. And their job is to attack people who speak out so that they're too scared to speak out. We've seen this across the West. There are mass Media Matters is the same in the United States of America. Their job is to do exactly the same. Entire offices full of people paid full time to demonise, attack, slander and lie about people who speak out. That, as I said, in a free democracy, these are government orchestrated and organised groups, and their job is to attack us. And what we saw with Charlie Kirk, it has to be a turning point, especially for those on the right need to realise, and conservatives need to realise, that the law has not been implemented equally. People can openly call for our murder. They don't even get arrested. Same with Donald Trump. We've seen the hatred that they've faced. Nothing's done about it. You reverse the roles. If someone mentions something about transgenderism, 20 police officers kick their door off in the UK. The hypocrisy of the way the law is implemented between left and right. We are thrown to the wolves and everyone else is protected. So they encourage attacks against people like Charlie and against myself.
You spoke about the media. They've disputed the numbers at your rally, saying it's not 3 million, but slightly over 100,000. You and your supporters have raised the issue of this bias of the legacy media towards you. Why do you believe they are against you?
They're trying to downplay it because they don't want to accept that this was the largest protest in British history. Because if they accept that, they have to start addressing the reasons why people are there. And they don't want to address the reason why people are there.
Why are you threatening them? Why are they so threatened by you and your movement?
Because they realise they're losing power. They realise that the monopoly they had by controlling people's minds and thoughts through the mainstream media. Elon Musk buying X has given the British public back their free speech. We now can see the truth. We now can reach the public. They realise they're running out of time. And they are running out of time. The future belongs to patriots. The future has borders. The future belongs to us, not them. No matter what they try and do, every move they've done to try and attack us, to finish us, to silence us, it's had the adverse effect. Locking me in jail had the adverse effect. Locking people up after the Southport riots. It was meant to put fear. They locked Lucy Connolly up, a British mother, for 31 months for a tweet. That was meant to scare all other British mothers. It had the adverse effect. They lit a fire in the belly of every British mother. The British are no longer... We are a nation of fighters. We're a nation of men and women who've always stood up to tyranny. We always stand up. And for too long, that lion has been asleep. For 20 to 30 years, it's been asleep. It's no longer asleep. What you saw on Saturday was that lion waking up and roaring, and it's going nowhere now. We're just getting started. I'm telling you, the public are with us. They can see it. I can feel it. Something historic is happening in Great Britain. This is not going away. There is a cultural revolution underway, and nothing they can do can stop it.
And since you're saying this cultural revolution is about patriotism, how do you respond to critics who say that Nigel Farage is wary of the so-called far right and has deliberately distanced himself from Tommy Robinson?
Just look at the scenes on Saturday. Look at the scenes on Saturday. That is the largest demonstration this country's ever seen. I very much doubt Nigel Farage could hold a demonstration and have this. People are fed up. Nigel is, if you ask me, Nigel's still playing the game from 5 years ago. He's still trying to be politically correct. He refuses to ever talk about Islam. Ever. He won't talk about Islam. Okay? We need leaders who are brave. We need fearless leaders to tell the truth, not to play political correctness, not to try and be careful. What got us into this mess in our country, in fact, not just our country, in every country, in your country, all over, is people trying to be careful as not to offend. Well, being careful has resulted in the mass importation of Islamic barbarians into our country who are raping their way through it. We've had enough. The public don't care anymore about their labels. They used to manage us with racist, Nazi. It used to work. It used to oppress us and silence us with this beating down with these labels. Doesn't work anymore. Saturday showed them that. I'm not Nigel Farage's enemy. I've tried to say it so many times, but Nigel, unfortunately, made comments that by 2050, the Islamic community are going to be so powerful in the UK due to the demographical birth rate that we cannot alienate Islam. Well, I'm here to tell you, yes, we can. We will stop Islam. I don't care about alienating Islam. Islam wishes to it's a supremacist ideology that wishes to subjugate non-Muslims. We will combat it. We will speak truth to power on that issue. We're not hiding from it. Nigel may wish to hide from it. Nigel may be scared of Islam. The British public on Saturday showed they're not.
How do you respond to all of those sympathizers who say that it's a duty of the developed nations to look after those who are displaced, to look after these immigrants, many of them who have been displaced because of wars which are primarily waged by the white countries or, are victims of white men's wars?
Developed nations like Saudi Arabia and Qatar. How many are they taking in? How many are they taking in? This is migration jihad. That's what this is. Yeah. Those Muslims can go to safe Muslim countries if they want, where their culture fits, rather than coming to our countries and causing mayhem, war, and destruction. That's it. I'm all for helping people who need help, but we're not, by destroying our own cultures and our own countries. That's not going to work. It's not going to work. And we're not willing to play the lottery. Never, ever in the history of this earth, in 1,400 years, has Islam peacefully coexisted with other faiths. It starts off as a minority. When it gets to a certain percentage, we see jihad, we see war. Britain will be no different. Europe will be no different. India will be no different. You see what's going on in Kashmir. We all know it. It's going to be no different. The time to stop being weak is now. The time to unite with leaders across the West, across the world, who understand this problem is now. The time is now. The battleground for this has been chosen as our capital city by the British public on Saturday. But that's the largest demonstration this country's ever seen.
Tommy, do you think this is just a one-sided problem? There was a racially motivated rape of a British-born Sikh woman in the West Midlands just last week, where perpetrators allegedly told her, "You don't belong to this country, get out." What about the right to feel safe, respected and valued by those who are legal immigrants? Should this form of racism and misogyny have place in Britain?
So, I spoke to that family of that girl, offered them our support, made a video letting everybody know the disgusting news of that case. And that is something new. I've never heard anything like that. There is a growing whether it be Indian sentiment that we're witnessing, which I want to play my part in educating the public on the great contributions that Hindus and Sikhs have given to this country, and to be unfairly tarnished as any problematic group. We are doing everything we can to do that, which is why I reached out to that family through Sikh organisations we have relationships with. Okay, but I've never seen anything like that. That shows, as the public become more angry with mass immigration due to the importation of Islamic community. This is something I've worked with the Sikh organisations for 15 years. When there's been problems with racism coming from white organisations or white people, we've worked with them. Even when we had the English Defence League, we reached out, we went down and tried to quell situations where Sikh community were facing racism. And we will do everything we can to unite Britain and educate the British public.
So are you saying that the innocent non-white immigrants, the legal immigrants, are falling prey to this anger? Because there are many in Britain who refer to themselves as multiracial patriots, pay taxes, and are actively contributing to the British economy. Many Indians who I personally know are more British than Indian. So is Tommy Robinson against all non-white immigrants?
No, not all. No, as I said, we embraced that. Anyone that's come to this country, loved it, embraced it, we are with you. And not just we are with you, we will defend you. We will work with you. When the Hindus faced the backlash from the Islamic problem in Leicester, when the media was blaming the Hindus, at that point, we reached out to lead Hindu organisations and said, if you need 1,000 or 2,000 men, we are offering men to help defend your community. Because we understand the sacrifice, we understand the good work the Hindu community have done in the UK. We understand they're not raping our daughters. We understand that they're hardworking, they're family orientated, they're decent British people. We understand that. Unfortunately, I am accepting that as anti-migrant sentiment grows, unfortunately, some innocent people are being caught in the middle. That's what I understand. Now, we will do everything we can as an organisation, as a country, and as a community to unify all of those groups. That's what we're doing. It's what Unite the Kingdom was about.
And that's why I would recommend that you turn it into a wider movement, which is not just limited to the West, but the entire world.
Well, we will. We'd like, more than anything, I'd love Modi to come and speak at our next event.
I'm going to come to that. I'm going to come to that. So hold on to your thoughts.
Come and report. Come and report.
Before I do that, I want to talk about a guest who is in your country right now. The US President Donald Trump is on his second visit to Britain, where many are referring to him as a racist or a traitor and a betrayer, at a time when Trump's own philosophy, what's popularly known as Trumpism, is growing in Britain with its own calls to make England great again. What explains this deep-seated hatred for Trump?
The hatred is from the establishment and their figures. No one else. Not on the streets. The people love Donald Trump. Britain loves Donald Trump. Do you know the only people fighting for our free speech right now? Donald Trump, J.D. Vance and Elon Musk. None of the British establishment. None of our politicians are fighting for our free speech. They are. They're fighting against the European Union. They're fighting for all of our freedoms. There is a ripple that has come from America for free speech. The reason I have my X account back, Elon Musk. The reason I now have my YouTube account back, because of the election of Donald Trump. When America elected Donald Trump, they didn't just elect to save America. It was to save the West. Donald Trump is leading that fight. Free speech is under threat. It's already gone, to be honest. It's a facade that we have free speech. So we, as patriots, we as British people are so grateful to the United States of America. We're so grateful to Donald Trump. I have more respect for him, for J.D. Vance, and for Elon Musk than anyone else on this planet. We're grateful. He's loved. Don't believe the media. The media tell you I'm hated. When you come to the UK, come for a walk with me through the streets. You see if I'm hated or not. Okay? And then I go for a walk with Keir Starmer down the street. But see who's hated.
What brought Keir Starmer to power then, if there were so many haters of Starmer?
9 million votes brought him to power, and the disillusion and the fact that we didn't, many of us just didn't, are so out of politics and don't care about, haven't cared, but we need to realise, which is what we need to tell them, you have to care, or you get clowns like this in government, absolutely destroying our nation. So, yeah, and also, yeah.
You mentioned Elon Musk. He said you were jailed for speaking the truth. That was the day you were getting started with your prison sentence. How do you respond to your critics who say that the truth is that you were jailed for libeling about the Syrian refugee who was an assault victim? How do you respond to those allegations, especially now that you're done with that prison sentence?
Can I ask you, did you watch the film Silenced?
Yes, I did.
167 million people watched it. I
was one of them, yes.
I told the truth. The problem for the government, for the establishment, and for the judiciary, anyone who watches that film knows I reported the truth. Now, they locked me up for it, and I have to be careful what I say, because if I talk too much about the film or details of the film, I go straight back to prison for another 2 years. There is no free speech here. They attempted to gag me. I purposely released the film so the public could see the corruption of our judiciary. The judiciary has been used as a weapon to break down and destroy those who speak out. That's what they attempted to do to me. This Saturday, we showed them a clear message. I'm not broken. Our movement's not broken. We're just about to hit second gear.
All right. Let me now come to India. It's the Indian Prime Minister's 75th birthday. Interestingly, the government of India is also cracking down on illegal immigration, particularly that coming from Bangladesh. Would you like to share your thoughts on Prime Minister Modi, and do you see any parallels between India and Britain?
happy birthday, first of all, to Prime Minister Modi. Populism didn't start with Donald Trump, started with Modi. His election was the start. So I followed the situation closely. I've had lots of meetings in the UK with lots of Indian organisations and groups. I admire Modi for putting Indians first, putting Indian people first. And he was the start of it, even for putting Hindus first, because your country is under attack. And when we talk about his job of stopping uncontrolled mass immigration, again, from Islamic nations who are raping their way through your country. Do you remember Tapan Ghosh? I had meetings with Tapan Ghosh years ago, rest in peace to him. But I had meetings with him back in the day to understand how he was trying to resist the rape of Hindu women. So I follow what's going on. We know what's going on in Kashmir. Everyone does around the world. Whenever you see any violence and conflicts, we know it's not the Hindus. We know automatically straight away. We know who is. We know about the supremacy and the violence and the hostility. So I wish him success. I wish him success. I wish him honour and bravery, which has continued to show. I'm a supporter of President Modi.
Would you like to meet him at some point?
I'd love to meet him. I'd love to meet him.
I just want to end with your thoughts on terrorism. Do you think that the West is playing its role when it comes to addressing the problem of terrorism, whether it is Israel or India, which has been attacked as recently as April, when the dastardly terror attack happened in Kashmir's Pahalgam? How do you respond to the West's approach, particularly that of United States? We've seen the US president also go ahead and strike deals with Pakistan. So what is your assessment of the West's approach when it comes to dealing with terrorism, in your language, particularly Islamic terrorism?
Well, if they were dealing with Islamic terrorism, we would have already closed down lots of mosques, which we haven't. We never have. So we've been weak in dealing with it. If we were dealing with Islamic terrorism, the 40,000 Muslims on the terror watch list, 50% of them have got dual nationality, they would be deported from our country. They haven't been. If we were dealing with Islamic terrorism, we would have just banned all entry from Pakistan into our country. Pakistan is a terrorist state. Nothing good has ever come from Pakistan. Most of the world's problems are coming from Pakistan. Pakistan has funded terrorism continuously. It tries to smile whilst trying to destroy your country. That's what it does to India. It's what it does to us. It's what it does all over the world. So Pakistan is a terrorist state. No, we've been weak on all these issues, on all of them. We need a government. I actually think we need to free Baluchistan, free the Baluch people from Pakistan's terror.
Tommy Robinson, thank you for joining in on CNN News 18. It was a pleasure having you on the show. I do hope that Unite the UK turns into a wider global movement, which is not just about uniting the UK, but uniting the world. Thank you so much for joining in.
I'll see you at the next event.